Okay, welcome everybody. Christina Merkley. It's the public visual satsang number 50, if you can believe it, kind of a milestone. Started these when the pandemic swept across North America and have just kept going because the times keep on going, good, bad, and ugly. So let's get David in here. I'll quickly share the slides just to orient us to what's going on here. And let's do that. We'll continue to have folks joining us as they come in. Can you see the slides okay? I can see Jill nodding. Yeah, thank you. So agenda-wise, maybe you've, if you haven't joined live, hopefully you've watched some of these and get a sense of what happens. But we start with 10 minutes of meditation just to kind of set the field and become here and start to build our energetic together here. Then we'll move into what are called reports and arisings. So people have been here before, or if you've been watching the recordings, something is probably unfolding with your inner work. So if you care to report on what's unfolding, that's welcome. And then we also meet whatever is arising. So if there's something in particular that you're coming here for support, you'll let me know and we'll find our way agenda-wise. It's spontaneous and unique every time. So we'll see what's here present today. And we always just somehow find our way through the agenda items that arise. And it's usually about 2 hours. I put ish. You're welcome to come and go as you like. If you do leave, it's nice if you put a little note into the chat so I know you're not going away triggered. You're just going away because there may be some other reason, hopefully. If you are triggered, I'll follow up. So after reports and arisings and we know what's coming in the container, then we'll move into spontaneous inner work. And if need be, I'll stick around. If everybody's who's kind of raised their hand saying they're wanting to do some processing, I like to get everybody done if we can. Each person who wants to have an opportunity to process. So I'll stick around if need be for bonus time in order to ensure that happens. Everything is welcome. I now have 2 places to house, depending on the content that comes up, because we live in kind of remarkable times, and there's some things that we're not allowed to talk about, apparently, or even process. And I'm non-dual, so everything is welcome. So if you fit in categories of topics that are okay to put on YouTube, it'll be posted on YouTube. And if it's something that YouTube deems inappropriate, the facilitator in me has a hard time with that one, but I have a Rumble channel, and so we'll split things accordingly if need be, depending on the content that arises in the container. If you've been around me and the work that I do, you know it's holistic, and so we're welcoming mind, heart, and belly, and a lot of the left brain and the right brain, the various sides of us. So a non-dual or a unity approach. I also work visually, as many of you who are present here today do as well. And I have 40 various maps that I've built over the years. And so we may end up working from some of those maps, or also just working organically, spontaneously as well. Now, I do have a collection of maps that are over on a page on my website. And I'm just going to go grab this link and put it into the chat. These are the ones that typically come up in satsang. So I'm just going to put this link right here into the chat so you have easy access to it. Depending on what comes up, we may use a map that's on that page, and you're welcome to download it and parallel process as well if you don't already have that map. And I'll also give just a quick reminder. I'll do this at the end, but sometimes folks leave. I've set the date for the next one, so it'll be Thursday, October 20th from 10 a.m. to noon Pacific time, so convert into your own zone. And at the end of this, I'll try to remember to come back and do that as well. All of you are probably on the public visual satsang list that we have. And so you get sent reminders as one of these come up, and you also get the follow-up. So you'll be sent the video, and any maps that are created today, you'll be sent those maps as well. Okay, so that kind of gives us a sense here of what we're in for, or what the structure and container is. We're going to segue now into meditation for 10 minutes. You're welcome to keep your screen up if you care to. Helps to build the field and know that we're sitting here together, but you can also take your video down if you care to. I'll just mute myself so you don't hear the dogs barking in the background. And I'll meet you back here in 10 minutes after we partake of stillness for a bit. Just take our time kind of returning to consciousness, and then just noticing what is present. If there's any reports, so if you're returning from this container, I see some of you from the Shift It retreat that happened a couple of weeks ago, so welcome. There might be reports from that work. And then anything that's arising, so we kind of find our way agenda-wise. And we'll just go popcorn style, which means whoever wants to go first, just unmute and go for it. Shy sages.
I can go first. When I first dropped into meditation, the intention that I heard inside was healing the head and heart connection. And so that was curious. I was at the Shift It retreat a couple of weeks ago, and so I have a check-in since then. So I didn't get the job at the museum, but because I was interviewed and showed myself to the staff there, they're aware now of me, of my gifts, my skills, and they're interested in working with me, which feels really good. And I was able to navigate through the letdown of that pretty smoothly, so that was great. I taught 2 workshops this weekend at a local community festival called Writing in the Garden, Deepening in Connection to Nature, and I really enjoyed that and felt like it's a beautiful opening into like my true path in terms of my soul work, and so that feels really good, and there's a feeling of welcoming. And also this ancestral place that also came up during the retreat. It was my birthday on Friday, and so I sat on my birthday with the intention of honoring my ancestors and starting to shift my focus away from me to me being a part of this lineage, and that felt really, really good. Something shifted and opened up where I was actually able to connect with those healthy ancestors. And so now I feel like there's like this presence that's like with me. So that's a really beautiful
yes, please.
new development. And just allowing myself to feel peace and honoring that inside me. And the theme of male-female relationships has been ongoing, and so now that's shifted towards my new work. And so learning to navigate and negotiate between different types of people and organizing and structuring day-to-day things, that's sort of up today. And
negotiating between different types of people. And what was the second one?
To organize and structure the day-to-day.
Okay.
And then energetically, there's been this releasing of the trauma from the left side and the feminine aspects, and so moving towards the mother aspect, making the shift towards mother and embracing the qualities of that. And that's it.
That's a lot. Yay. Thank you for the report.
Yeah.
A couple of things to meet in the now too, potentially. It's not necessary, but if you care to, any reports, go for it.
Okay, I'll break the next block of silence that would otherwise. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
so I was at the visual coach retreat a couple of weeks ago as well. So it's really been continuing to work a little bit on that. I've been pretty busy with the class stuff, but just processing some of the stuff from that.
Mhm.
And there's been a little bit more come out that I guess is also connected, but I've seen a pattern of something that's also starting to create some anxiety, I guess, where I'm engaged and supposed to be planning to get married,
Mm.
very likely now in Vietnam in the early part of next year. But I realised that my past two marriages, um, around that, getting just after getting married, have been homeless. We've ended up being homeless,
Oh.
and I've got no work again
Mm.
lined up for next year. And there's sort of this whole pressure again around, where's the income going to be coming from in the early part of next year? I mean, I think there's a reasonable likelihood that I'll have work in July. I'll be teaching again in July, but
Mhm.
it's that,
It's a long
yeah.
stretch. Yeah.
Again, it's just, and I don't think I'm likely to end up being homeless this time, but it's that.
Well, and we want it. Well, you can even say it right now. Just not necessary.
Yeah,
To the
yeah,
subconscious, the feel that not necessary, and maybe even it's kind of a cheeky one. Reruns boring. Just
yeah.
tell it, right?
Absolutely,
Because
runs
it can get
boring.
into that, like, oh, this is
Yeah.
what we're supposed to do. It's like, no, you don't have to. Yeah.
No,
And
so
we can,
again, making sure that pattern is broken and
yeah,
doesn't happen.
yeah. And
Um,
just a big awe too. There's traumatic history. So there'd be the awe, just the tenderness towards that. So there's a little bit of meeting it right now because it's so palpable and right here, but that's definitely one, if you're game, that we could
yeah,
enter into for sure.
yeah. I'm also going to need to leave early. I really just came in to observe. I've got another meeting straight after this, so I'll probably be leaving around 1:30 to
Okay, good to know.
refocus.
Yeah, so I can put you up first. Okay, thanks, David. Nice to see you again. Nice you came into this container. Yeah. Now, Bia, you unmuted, so go for it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Hearing Jill sharing thoughts about her connection with the ancestors made me think about my recent journey in this direction as well. And maybe, I don't know, but I feel like there's a global tendency for many of us, like to feel, to go back to the roots, to uncover and connect. I was visited by my dad recently, and I don't get to spend much time with him. And because he was near me, we got to draw the area where he lived when he was young, and where I lived as well for just few years, my first years. And there was so much confusion, you know, about neighbors. A lot of neighbors were also relatives. And I felt the need to have the map of that area. And it was so amazing because we drew together that map and we've put the names in there. Mm-hmm. And then everything was more clear, and like the memory of it was more shiny suddenly. And then after he left, many days after he left, like in these days really, I'm still thinking about ancestors. And after reading a lot about, well, maybe not a lot, but some about transgenerational trauma and all this kind of stuff. I've also seen a series about this. And then this image came into my mind. I was in front of a ear but like big ear. It was like a symbol. And after that ear, in the background, there were more ears. You know, ears, like ears.
Yep.
Like,
Thanks.
from ancestors. So the one in
they're
front,
listening.
the one in front of me was the most close to me, like my mom or my grandma.
Yep.
And then I was saying thank you, and it was going from ear to ear, back until
Thanks.
I couldn't really see where, because it's just back in time and we don't have a clear image of where it goes. So I find this really beautiful, and I like to hear Jir's experience as well.
Mm-hmm. Nice message too, to be communicating and for them to receive. Just getting folks in as they're coming in. Yeah. Welcome. We're just doing reports. So if anybody has a report and or arising. So as we figure out our agenda for today. Bia, was there anything in particular? It might be ancestors. I mean, I bet you that's going to happen in the container at large, but I loved what, the imagery that you shared with us, that's bringing it into the container, us listening back, and also this communication through the generations. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's things happening in chat, so let me get my glasses so I can read it. Okay, Karina, got it. Appreciations, Bia, for what you did. Hannah, glad to be here. Great. Okay, any other? I've got some things to work with. More might pop out here, but let me know. Yeah. Oh, Leslie, please go right ahead.
Yeah, hi. I was at the retreat here a couple weeks ago too, and I'm here because I want to continue the work. I've been very stuck in terms of moving from where I am in my life into really what my soul mission is. And I know we did a individual processing around inner critic, and I continue to work with that because I do have a tendency to get pulled back into the old pattern. And so I want to keep pushing to forge a new relationship there. And then really one of the biggest issues is in living I've been reconnected to some work I did probably 6 years ago with an African shaman. I went to a number of small retreats, including one. It was a several-day ritual about your soul purpose, and I've been reconnecting with that. But the one place that I do get stuck is I don't know how to get out of my head and bring something into form. It's like, where does that start? From the African ritual, purpose ritual with what came out of that, but I do get stuck about bringing out of my head into
That's
form.
okay. I love the mind, so that's a great entry point. Yeah.
But so that's
and how cool with the African shaman too. And you had said before about this cycling back. There was this thing that was cycling, right? The spirals. So now you're spiraling around back to that work. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Note taken.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, we can definitely meet that. Yeah, Andy, go for it.
So I had a big aha after the retreat. I was kind of drawn to Enneagram, which I feel like I had taken an Enneagram test before, but it doesn't really matter. But I listened to what was on about, my Enneagram, the audio that you had.
Oh yeah, I had some resources. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, and it was actually interesting to talk about the spiraling back. There was a woman speaking who I remember from when someone introduced me to her from like 20 years ago. And I was like, oh, I recognize her. I remember like a lot of what she shared. Anyway, the big aha was that for my type, even if it's not my type, it doesn't matter. It was a message for me.
It was still an aha.
It doesn't really matter. Was like that they just have this embedded feeling that there's something wrong with them that they had to fix. And I was like, oh my God, I see this in a new way. Like I'm kind of always moving in and out of like, there's nothing to fix, right? But the depth of like, this is encoded or stamped, or I came in with this
Original
way.
wound. Yeah.
Right? Like hit me in a different way. Like it's even beyond an initial wounding. It is just like raisins and raisin bread, chocolate chip and chocolate chip cookies. Like there's kind of not a way to extricate it, except that analogy does end. You know what I mean? It's not a perfect analogy for moving through life, but it just struck me in a new way that it was like, oh, what would it look like to go through life not thinking that there was nothing wrong with me? Like, I don't even know, there's no place for that to compute. You know, like, well, what is that? How does one do that? So, as you can tell, I'm kind of holding
Would I be without that story? Yeah.
gravity and levity at the same time. You know, like it's important, and yet, like, I can't get all swirled up in it. And what would it look like? Like, there's a path unknown to me personally. And
well,
I
there's
think
the polarity square too, which you love so much, right?
I
So
know they're just calling to me. Yeah.
Poking into that side that's not so conscious. The other sides are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great report. Thank you. And if you're game, maybe some polarity work. I'm sure that one is universal. Even though there will be certain types, you can feel it more than others. Yeah.
It's only you. It's only me. So I'm the only one in the world that feels this way.
Yeah, that's why there's a whole Enneagram type on it, right? Yeah. Okay, going once, going twice. Again, not necessary to check in if you don't care to, or bring a rising. Yeah, Hannah.
I really appreciate being in this space, and what's resonating now is just the cycles. Noticing here I am the season. Literally, the seasons are changing. It was just the equinox, and I'm also in a cyclical way. It's been a few months where I've been. It feels like embedded with a particular client. But it's not technically embedded with, but that's been my experience, where it's been every couple of weeks doing an on-site with this client in Atlanta. This client is the CDC. So there's multiple levels of like personal and professional cycles going on there. And so I feel like I'm just beginning to emerge out the other side of that. And I'm really curious who I am now. And I'm sort of feeling my way through that. And what's next in terms of cycles. It's also the beginning of like the final quarter of this year, and like releasing of things, etc. So this is my first coming out of that cocoon, I guess. And this is feels like a perfect place and safe place to do it and explore that. What's emerging next.
Okay, thank you. Nice succinct one to enter into. And again, something that we all can do. Okay, I'm just going to go get things ready on my tablet, and then I'm going to screen share. We're off and running. Let's see. Pictures. Okay, David, I'm going to start with you, since you're going to leave relatively soon here. And inquiry worked beautifully with you in the retreat. So if you're game, I'm going to suggest that as an entry place. Yeah. Okay. And then all sorts of other modalities can pop out in the midst of inquiry, but consciousness will guide us. So you already gave me, oh, by the way, I'll just do my little spiel. When I work one-to-one with somebody, you're all holding the container, and you may also be parallel processing. It can happen at different levels. So it might be exact as David's going along. You might have some things that perfectly dovetail in with you and or somebody that you know. Many of you are also process professionals of various types. So your mind might be hovering there, kind of watching what's going on process-wise, etc. So we just welcome all of that, all of the many roles, all the many ways that we interact with the container, right? When one person is so graciously and bravely moved forward and afterwards, you can use the chat. I love the chat function. So if there's any ahas or synchronicities that you have with what's going on, or you just want to thank the person, feel free to use the chat. And then we'll, often there's piggybacking. So when we wrap with one person, it might make sense, given what people have already brought forward or what spontaneously arises, to move to something else that might have, sometimes there's similar themes that happen and sometimes not. So we'll just see. Okay, so with that, let's dive right in. You already gave us a little bit of information, so I'm just going to do a brief little welcoming of that, which was your check-in. And within that, I remember patterns and homeless, and the gigs and the contract and the money overall. So, and I haven't obviously gone to the subtleties of how you expressed it, but it's already here in the container. So we're just going to welcome all of that. And the line to apply to yourself, to consciousness, and for all of us is, oh, hello, all that. You are welcome here.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, my old friend, right? Or my old nemesis, whatever it might be. And just welcoming and just honoring it to the best of your ability. Sometimes the words can even be hollow, and that's okay. And then just seeing when that happens, consciousness will guide us, right? So as you welcome that, we'll see what emerges.
Yeah, I've used the word homeless. It wasn't. I wasn't on the streets, but in one situation, I ended up living in someone's office during the day, so we'd have to leave during the day.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
We'd go in there at night to sleep and have access to kitchen and shower and so on. And the other occasion, it was sort of acquaintance friends put us up and allowed us to use the bedroom in their place. But it was just that.
Well, let's go back. So right off the bat, history. So a little bit of orphan rescue here. So let's go to the first one, the office. And probably there's going to be some aversion, right? It's a bit of a hassle to have to pack yourself up all the time. There's probably some positivity there too, appreciations and gratitude for the person for assisting. And
I think in both cases, there was appreciations. But...
Okay, so let's welcome the appreciation and the no thanks. So there's mixed energy. There's yes, please, and there's no thank you. So we're just a deep, deep bow in both of these to the yes, please, right? To having friends and people who assist and not being on the street and having a place to be held during those times. Thank you, thank you. Appreciation, appreciation. And then we'll go to the no thank you and just agree with it. Of course we didn't like that. Of course we would have preferred for it to have been a different situation. And there's probably different kinds of hassles and inconveniences and feelings and stuff connected with it. And you might want to just somehow, your younger yous, orphans can happen adults, from your now consciousness, right? The best aspect of being your now self and even your future self. You just did the Shift It retreat, so you're aware of your future self. Good idea to bring in the future self for backup. You're going to scoop up those two orphans somehow, right? Come here, come here. I got ya. You'll come up with your own terms, your own phrases. What's your phrase that you would say to them? The one in the office and the one there in the bedroom with friends. And if you can't do it, see what your future self does.
Yeah, what actually comes to mind is more of just an embracing of them.
Nice. Yes, please.
And really, it's more of an embrace of comfort. Of hey, it's okay. It was okay. It was uncomfortable, but also in each instance, it was a transition.
Good. Softens it. Thank you. Thank you. That's very wise. Yes, please. It was okay. It was a transition. And just keep going with that embrace of comfort. And we're just inviting that to stretch, realize itself, enlarge, root down, rise up. It'll know what it wants to do. You're welcome here. Hello, embrace of comfort.
Yeah, it's really just sitting in that because my head also wants to.
Oh, let's welcome the head. Yeah,
But
yeah. The head. Hello, mind. Yeah. So, and the mind is also the doer, right? So it's going to want to figure it out. So I'm glad you mentioned it. And always the mind and the doer are full of heart because they love you and they're wanting to be at service. And so the mind wants to get in here. So let's just welcome the mind and thank it for its love.
Yeah. There's also there's that feeling of inadequacy where you're newly married and I should be able to support my family and I'm not able to.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think, you know, as from the retreat, I feel as if I've got so much unrealized potential, but it's still in that, you know, I've really only ever seemed to be able to make a fraction of really what I'm worth. And so it's that situation again.
Okay, so we're going to go to, here's the polarity, and we're going to go with the first one. So we have to meet the inadequacy. And it's kind of like the thing we were saying about with the patterns, right? Hello, old friend. So hello, inadequacy. You're welcome here. Don't like you much and don't like this pattern. Wish I could kick you to the curb, but you're welcome here. Yeah.
Part of the journey, but
yeah, and understandable, right? Just different kinds of patternings and success focus that the society has and pressures. A lot of people right now, because of circumstances in the world, and probably will get worse as we go through this recession stuff, right? It's outside of the personal, but we take it super personal, understandably. So just welcoming inadequacy. And also on its heels came unrealized potential. You're right, you're right.
So this is my head knowing, you know, I know I should be able to make, you know, substantial income with the background, with the education and the stuff I've done. The fact that it's, yeah, but I'm just hopeless at marketing.
Okay, now it went somewhere else. So
again, this is the
get
head.
that hopeless at marketing. Good. Okay.
I'm marketing myself. I should be it's myself. And this was something that came out, and I was talking with a friend where basically probably childhood trauma as well, that sort of can lead to having difficulties with ourselves, being able to put ourselves out there, although we can be reasonable at working with other people.
Okay, and just agree with that, because I know a little bit of the story, and it's absolutely true, right? So there's significant childhood trauma. So just agreeing, and the mind has, and it's been in this container. Many of you, us, me too, have been and society at large, been understanding the role that trauma plays, the impact that it has, right? And not just in our life, but also the ancestral, the epigenetics of it all. So just agreeing, and the mind has really tracked this and been studying it and is connecting the dots. So good job, mind. You're right, you're right. And it's also connected to unrealized potential, right? So you know that this is not just a personal pattern. This is a shared, understandable pattern for people with childhood trauma. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you can still have an aversion and not like it, but the intellectual understanding of it, a yes, please to that. And it
I understand it, but
yeah.
I guess accept it, but I don't want to now. No, old pattern. I don't want. You know, that's old stuff. I don't want to repeat.
Yes. Okay, great. So I just wrote the personal and impersonal leading to the universal, and then there's a longing. I don't want to repeat.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? If you don't want to repeat, what do you want to do?
Well, I guess there's just about a part of me that is hesitant because I never reach what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
But,
what's the, I meant it literally. What's the
yeah,
opposite of, if you don't want to repeat, what do you want to do? It means you
well, I
want
want new.
to,
I want sort of, it's new story, new,
yay, there you go.
bright stuff. It's abundance. It's recognition for, what I'm able to bring in, the potential that I have, the things that I'm able to bring together. But
Beautiful.
I think it's the abundance and recognition and coming out of that, some stability.
Good, and stability. Good, let's get stability. Okay, so we can't skip steps. We got to go back to it. Don't want to repeat it. So just agree with that. You're right, you're right. And this is where the not necessary, just really being firm and saying it's not necessary. We're understanding, yes, it's connected to childhood trauma and unrealized potential, but it doesn't have to go on forever. It's not necessary to just keep repeating it. And you might even want to do a firm no thank you, a real authentic no thank
absolutely
you.
No thank you. Not
good
needed.
And maybe even
not necessary.
Somebody, my analogy is normally Gandalf and the staff, right? Like, do not enter, do not cross, enough, right? So mustering that archetypal strength to say no.
Yeah, very much. And Gandalf is actually, I've often used the image of Gandalf as being an idea for me with that. It's that the wisdom that comes with Gandalf.
Oh, good. Yeah. So there was a reason why I could
so
feel
Gandalf is,
there.
I've often used as a nickname Kiwi Gandalf.
Oh, cute. Okay, so with the staff here and just saying no and summoning that power, and you're saying it to the rerun, you're saying it to the pattern, to the repeat, to the lack of abundance, the unrealized potential. Do it within, not up in the head, get into the body. Yeah. And you can say it inside. You don't have to, it's not a role play kind of thing, but just feel that energy inside. Yeah. Becoming and embodying your inner Gandalf. And that stature and that gravity and gravitas and the stomping of the staff and staring up to that big thing, and enough. You do not cross. And then he turns, because he knows metaphysics too, he's going to turn to what is allowed to cross. Bright and new and abundance and recognition. You are welcome here. You are allowed to cross. Hello, stability. You are welcome here.
And it's time. It is time for that.
Yes, please. It's time for this. Yes, please. Yes, please. Good idea. We like it. You're right. We're just to consciousness, because everything is out there. So you're just, hey, bright, hey, new, hey, abundant, hey, recognition.
Welcome.
Come on over.
Yes.
Open. Those two, like the airport flags, right? The plane coming into the hangar. Yeah.
This is a pathway forward.
Yes, please. Pathway forward. Now, how does it respond as you're alerting it? Hey, over here. Anything is welcome.
Yes, and I can't quite articulate, find the right word for it, but it's like there is a hesitation.
Yeah.
It's like there's still this barrier, this uncertainty, it's not.
So somebody inside is uncomfortable, so we'll meet that. So there's a hesitation and an uncertainty. Good, because this has never been encountered before. So just welcoming the hesitancy and the uncertainty. Oh, hello, who are you? and getting curious about that. It's welcome. It's natural. It's normal. If you haven't experienced something before, to be like, whoa, wait a second, this is different.
It's actually what it came out was I have experienced this for a short period, for a brief period in many years ago in Hong Kong, where I did move into, it was a place of abundance and some recognition. It didn't last, but it was that I did
Okay,
have it.
but let's go there, because this is excellent, because consciousness is alerting you, hey, you're not completely bereft here. Remember Hong Kong. So just welcoming Hong Kong. Oh, right. Hello, Hong Kong. And you've embodied future selves. So now you're going to go back and you're embodying that past self, standing there in Hong Kong and all that wonderful bubble of stuff that happened there. Oh, hello. Tapping into that. And thank you, consciousness, for the reminder and the memory of Hong Kong. You're right. I've got to at least change my tune somewhat, because I have had some bubbles and Hong Kong was a bubble. Yes, please. And just inviting that feeling with Hong Kong. Same thing. Hey, you're welcome here. You want to get bigger? Move beyond Hong Kong. Move into, like, Vietnam's coming, so move into Vietnam. See how it responds.
Well, once again, this is my head. It was the peak before the crash. So the homelessness followed probably, no, after a little bit, sometime after this peak, but then it all went down.
Well, there's a pattern again. So this is good. It's coming out.
And I've noticed, and there has been other patterns of abundance where the abundance has always preceded.
Get your Gandalf, get your Gandalf staff ready.
Yeah, and no more.
You got to be firm with it.
Pattern.
It's a pattern. It doesn't, and it's, you're bowing to it. It's accurate. That did occur, but it doesn't mean you got to wake it up.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't have to keep playing this. No, thank you. It doesn't mean just because there's a seat.
But this might be some of the fear that by having the abundance, it then leads to a crash.
Right. Good. So there's that recognition that just happened.
That's, I think, maybe some of that hesitation where I have had this, and it's then led to a crash.
Yes, that is definitely why, because it thinks that is the case, has to be the case always. Yeah. And you're just being sweet with it. No, peaks don't always have to equal crashes. Right after, or homelessness doesn't have to follow an abundance period. And see how it responds as you're like kind of waking it up a little, tickling it, right? Come on, don't be silly. Tickle it. See what happens. And just also being sweet, right? With the orphan of, we didn't like that. You're right. No, thank you to that. Not necessary. We don't have to go through that again. Not necessary. We already did it. In fact, we did it twice. We don't need to do it again. We know that one. Not necessary. Now ask, is it necessary?
Is it necessary? No, this is the Gandalf going, no, it's not necessary.
Excellent.
But that's very clear. No, it's not necessary.
Good to know. Good. Just checking if there's fate or destiny involved, but no.
It's not necessary. But there's also there's just felt at the same time a skepticism.
Okay, good. We've got to go there. Yeah.
There is, but in the past it's always been, this is what's come out. The abundance has been short-lived.
Yeah.
And so why would it be different?
We got another cousin here. So as you met hesitation and uncertainty, that now out is popping skepticism. So just welcoming it. Oh, hello, skepticism. Nice of you to pop out and show yourself. You are welcome here. And what does Gandalf, does he have anything to say to skepticism?
It's the intellectual part again, sort of looking a bit I don't have, there wasn't that same strength in the no, I guess, that I had just previously.
Mm-hmm.
There was something, no, it doesn't need to be this way. For some reason, that no wasn't as strong.
Okay, so you're just recognizing that, and you
Yeah.
might ask them why, because there might be some wisdom or something. Sometimes there's resistance, but sometimes there's wisdom. So anything that Gandalf wants to let us in on about what's also going on here with skepticism.
Yeah, I'm not getting a response on this one.
Okay, then let's just go straight to skepticism itself. And you're going to do something that might seem a little counterintuitive. You're going to give it something that's like respectful or honoring. Just bow to it. And sometimes it's like laying something at its feet, whether it's flowers or chocolate or whatever it might be. You'll have an impulse. What's your authentic gift to it? Honoring.
Well, what was coming out was that it's a recognition that it has a role.
Yeah.
And just in terms of questioning and checking.
Good. Yep.
So it's there is a role there, but it's not something that the feeling that now as I talk through it is it shouldn't be the deciding role. It shouldn't result in the decisions as a result.
Doesn't have the dominant vote. Yeah. So
it
that's
be
good news.
Dominant's the word. It shouldn't be the dominant role. It has a role to inform, but it shouldn't be the decider.
Okay, good. And is it getting that? It's not the decider. It's not the dominant. Or maybe it already was that. It gets it. Just agreeing. How wise. Yeah, of course. You want to keep practicality, right? So, of course, you want to keep reasonable questioning and reasonable checking into things and reasonable intellectualism to help with informing. But you're right. It's not the decider. It's not the dominant one. Good idea. Good to know. Good to get the roles clarified.
It's part of the wholeness.
Excellent.
It's understanding the whole.
Okay, let's go there.
So it has a role as part of the whole, but it isn't the whole itself. It's just a smaller portion.
Okay, good. I probably don't need to understand, but we're going to welcome the whole, right? That this is a portion. So it's getting a sense of its percentile, right? Like what it is, its appropriate size. And then let's just welcome the whole. Yes, please. You are welcome here, the whole. All of you, the whole of it.
And what's actually coming up that came to mind as looking at the whole was love, and this is really about love.
Yes, please.
Just the whole is this expansive love.
So just welcoming, yes, please, expansive love. All of us can get in on this. Yes, please, expansive love. You are welcome here. And ultimately, right? I mean, that's what it's coming down. So just inviting it to stretch out and to expand even more. You're connecting it deeper now than you ever have just by doing this inquiry. And you're doing it on behalf of not just yourself, but all of us, because the whole is connected to the whole. So this is medicine that we all need, right? Yes. And the form of you is connecting with this medicine of expansive love right now. Yes, please. Yes, please. Good idea. And anything you notice as you meet it and you invite it to expand and to root down, and you be a representative for it to touch down here on through the form of you and into our world at large.
Yeah, it's just feeling good. It was just this warm feeling as it was that coming out. There is, I guess, there's this this quiet assurance that it's going to be fine.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
You are welcome here. Warm feeling of quiet assurance. Everything is going to be fine. Yes, please. Yes, please. Now, just check. I always like to ask consciousness what title it wants on its inquiry. So ask it, because you're going to get this, and it's going to be staring back. What's the title?
The word that comes to mind is breakthrough.
Ooh, yes, please. Excellent. Write it big. So just welcoming. Good idea. Yes, please. Breakthrough. You are welcome here. Beautiful satsang. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. And thank you everyone for holding this container as well.
A lot of parallel processing, I'm sure. And yes, I see head nods happening and doing it on behalf of humanity at large as well. So thank you, David. Now, did I not share my screen that whole time, or did I?
Yes.
Yeah, it was up. Okay.
You were. For me, it was.
Oh, good. I must have just turned it off. Yeah. Okay, let's just breathe in and let's take a look at the chat. So I see the thanks coming in for David. Yes, please. Good. And it's still sharing. Okay, that's what's happening. There's my meeting control. Okay. And I'm just going to settle in and just take a look at my list and see where we go next. Leslie, I'm thinking you. Yeah. Hello, African Shaman. And from head to form.
Right.
That might benefit all of us. I just got to blow my allergy nose. 1 second. Remember to take a stretch, stand up, stretch out, attend to the bodies, myself included. I'm just going to get this ready on my end. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we're going to start with inquiry. So I'm just going to work with a blank sheet here. I'll bring that up so you can see it. Same thing with you. You already gave us a little bit of information. So I'm just going to start there with a little quote bubble with your check-in. You're African Shaman, cool. And then head to head, something head into form, right? So kind of some similarities to what David worked to some extent. Yeah.
Right.
And anything that's percolating for you out of the work he did that was particularly resonant or.
Yeah, I feel a big part that resonates is that I have a lot of unrealized potential, but then I'm stuck in my head and I don't know even the first step to move from my head out into the world. And it's all about purpose. It's living my purpose, being fully alive, serving, but that unrealized potential piece and being stuck in that holding pattern.
Right. So let's get, oh, there's an interesting word too, holding pattern. Okay, let's get the head in here first, your version here. And then we got holding pattern.
You know, and the trauma piece also resonated.
Mm-hmm.
So probably I think we have a big ancestral theme today. And I do believe there is a real component there. And that also was a lot of the work with the African Shaman. It's very heavily focused on ancestral connection, you know, trauma, whatnot.
Okay. So deep, deep bows to that. You've given us, we get the sense and the detail. So that whole lineage, and of course it goes either side here. So deep bows to those people that you derive from and all those generations and the traumatic things that they went through that are there in that RNA, DNA. So sorry. So what happens as you come in contact? Boom, I can really feel it, right? Often I feel things like they're big monoliths, and we just came up against a big monolith, right? And so when we encounter something really big like that, and just remember you got backup, you got the whole satsang here. And I'm going to invite just what happened with David. Sometimes when these big ones come up, you want to be honoring, right? Everything likes respect. So what would be, you're not going to offer yourself, but what's your, just to be clear, right? There's a line, no thank you, your fate and my fate, right? So, but if there's a offering that you would lay down, what would be your respectful, honorable symbol that you would give to them?
Really, what comes to me is I have my hands before my heart, giving a bow. So it's not actually, that is what comes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So just going with that, with the heartfelt bow that contains so much. And just see what happens as you, their descendant, gives that heartfelt bow.
Yeah, I feel a bow back.
Nice. Receive that. Ooh, I just got goosebumps. Yeah. Yeah. How nice. Receiving. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your respect. It goes both ways. And just try to look kindly upon me. You had your time, I have mine. You have your fate, I have mine. Please look kindly upon me. I look kindly upon you.
You know, I feel just guilt because I dove into kind of ancestral matters, you know, 5 or so years ago with this shaman, and it was really a whole new consideration, but then it's gone by the wayside.
Oh, okay.
Went by the wayside, and
so just apologize. Just apologize. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little distracted as what happens here on Human. Maybe you remember when you were here. Yeah. So just see,
right.
See how they receive your apology, your mea culpa. You know, I got into it and then I got taken off, but now I'm coming back.
Yeah, I feel it's okay, and I do feel probably this kind of guilt and beating myself up is a lifelong pattern that I need to get out of that.
Yeah. So here's another lifelong pattern. Interesting. There is some piggybacking. Yeah. So I don't know if yours is going to be Gandalf or maybe it's your ancestors, right? So here they're looking down on their descendant who has a lifelong pattern of guilt. Anybody have anything to say to you from their perspective?
It's guilt and shame. So it's a toxic combination. I just feel what I'm getting is that I need to let it go, I just need to not be carrying this anymore. It's something I have carried, not something they want to, push upon me. For whatever reason, when I was very young, I took it on, but I just need to put it aside.
Yeah. So they're clear and they're helping you to get clear. Not necessary. It's not yours to carry. Right. You might even return it to them because they're strong and they're many. So just see if they will take it back or just returning what is theirs to them. They're already saying it's not yours to carry. Let it go.
Yeah. Really what comes is one of the rituals I did of a big bonfire at night, and everyone that was there, we all had gathered during the day parcels that kind of represented kind of the things we were carrying as well as our hopes, and we put them in during a ritual at night into the fire. And I did feel a tremendous lifting after I did that. And that's what is just coming back, the memory of being at that fire in that ritual and handing into the bonfire, representing the ancestors, what I've been carrying. So that's coming back.
Good. Consciousness is communicating with you and just remembering and inviting that. So yes, please. Good idea. Into that bonfire. Don't hold it. Continue to allow it to transmute. Just allowing that release and that letting go and dropping it, putting it down and returning, transmuting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a very freeing, it is a very freeing feeling.
Excellent. So just welcoming, freeing. Yes, please. Freedom. And the freeing feeling, you are welcome here.
Yeah, it feels just much lighter, like I took these big boulders off my shoulder.
Yes,
and that feels much lighter.
Good news. Woohoo. Just agreeing, yes, please, lighter, and inviting lighter and this freedom feeling to stretch, because it's been very tight and contracted and hasn't been occupying a lot of space because of all this stuff that's been burdened. And as that burden removes, there's room. So just inviting it to stretch. Hey, lightness, stretch on out. Rise up, root down, go in a million directions. Same thing with freedom. You are welcome here. You can take up some more space. Anything that happens is you invite it to take up more space in you, in the world at large.
I just get the sense of ancestors being very happy about that.
Oh, yes, please.
Just very happy to see that. And that's what they want.
Okay, excellent. So they are liking it. Right on. Good news. We're on the right track.
Yes. And for whatever the other thing that comes, I almost feel like probably whatever the shame and guilt was in my life, I felt like I had this contract to clean up, to be the ancestral cleanup janitor person. And they just want me to, that got totally misinterpreted. And so letting it go, inviting in the lightness, is definitely what they like. But I do feel that sense of that somehow I felt I had this contract to be the cleanup crew or whatever.
Okay, well, just maybe about that, because often that happens, right? All of us here are probably that in our family lineages, right? And so there was a time that something was going on there, and there was some miscommunication and misinterpretation. So the contract is being renewed, right? A renegotiation happening here too, just like your inner alignment.
Right. Yeah, and they are very happy about that because they feel that is really what I'm just feeling is that that is a really, really necessary thing, that I've been just under far too much of a huge weight that has just squished me down, and I really need to let that go.
Yeah, excellent. So yes, please, to the flip of that, which is the lighter. Now, what's the new contract? What are they negotiating with you? They're telling you not necessary, right? So
Yeah.
So what is your contract? What can they help support you with? Since this is your time alive.
Yeah, they want to support me to help to live my purpose, the sole purpose I came here to live.
Good. Say yes, please, to that.
Yeah. And they know I've wanted that for a long time, but I have felt stuck or diverted for just a long time.
They're giving you their permission. You have our permission.
Yes.
To live your soul purpose.
Yeah.
And we'll help and assist you, our beloved descendant.
Yeah, and that piece, they're saying they want to help. So that is a really good feeling.
Good. Yes, please. We'll help.
Because I've said during our retreat, I've always felt like the lone wolf. So it does feel, and with all that kind of weight I was carrying, it does feel good not just to take it off, but not to feel so alone. Like it's,
yes.
I feel like they really want to help. So
you're belonging, you're part of, you're not a lone wolf anymore. What are you? What's the new contract?
It feels
part of the pack?
Part of the pack, part of the tribe.
Excellent.
That I'm not alone, that I almost feel like I see like a semicircle around me or supporting me.
Excellent. Yes, please, to that. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And then my mind jumps in and it wants to say, well, what do we do specifically?
Oh yeah, that's okay. So thank you, mind.
Okay, well, what are we going to do? This is the point we always get to.
Now, hold on. But let's not skip over the semicircle first. Let's go there.
Yeah,
no, that's
I
okay.
know.
We'll go to your mind soon enough here. Yeah, so just agreeing, but just take a moment to really feel you're in the middle of the semicircle. They're all around you. There's great love for you. There's great support for you. There's great understanding and empathy because you're here on the physical plane. And you have a team here to help and assist. Ancestors who love and understand.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it back to this, because this is a very powerful, really wonderful feeling.
Yeah, and now the
mind so alone.
Yeah, exactly. And let's keep flipping alone. So now you're part of the tribe. What else do you notice? What are the other words? If it was my dream, it's like I'm with, I belong, I'm connected.
Supported. I feel supported.
Nice.
Uplifted, really.
Excellent. Yes, please. Now, you have a mind, as we all do. And so just see what the ancestors would say to the mind, who's like, okay, so how do we get going on this purpose?
I feel like they're laughing because my mind has been a very harsh taskmaster that's been in control for most of my life. And it just wants to barge in and run the show.
Yeah.
And they are kind of laughing because it just is like, my mind is just dying to get in here and take over.
Yeah.
But there is a harshness there too, because it wants to it wants to beat me over the head. It just, there's a harshness there too, but it wants to take over the whole process.
Let's take away the blunt instruments. Right. So you're just kind of, and with your big ancestors helping you to release the grip, not necessary. No, thank you. You don't get anywhere by beating something.
Right.
And we thank it for its love, because if there's a bunch of ancestral trauma, there's probably a lot of intensity around doing things right. Otherwise you die or awful things happen to you.
Right. Right.
So there's a real reason why it's got a little overboard with its harshness, because the survival instinct is very large, understandably. And so you're just going to really authentically coo, like, yeah, you're right. That was very scary. That was very intense. That was very big. Thank you for helping me to survive. You did it. We're still standing. And probably beyond the years and of some of the, a lot of the ancestors, right? So it's like, good job, good job. It served a purpose in its harshness.
Right.
And it too is time for renegotiation, a new contract. So see how it responds. It's probably a little tired because that's pretty intense, having to run around banging all the time to get attention. So just maybe a sweet rest. Hey, you can, hey, thank you for your love. Thank you for keeping me alive.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it just feels like the ancestors are really trying to welcome that part. And
oh, nice. Yeah.
Kind of put their arms around that part, because what you said, it is incredibly tense.
Yeah.
It's like that hypervigilant, like, and so they're trying to just,
welcome
pat the back of, welcome, and just say, it's okay. It's okay. You know, you did a good job. You don't have to be like the, you don't have to be so.
They might also be
alert and worried.
Yeah. And they can also show it what happens after death too, because that's a big one, right? Because we're the human species, it's usually very scary. So as we're starting to see, not so much, right? They're communicating with you, they're loving you, they're aware. So something still goes on here. So just inviting that part that was so hyper vigilant about keeping you alive and looking after you and keeping you on the straight and narrow or whatever it was, now it can kind of be unfolded. It's already happening. Thanking the ancestors for embracing it and kind of showing it the bigger picture. Not to take away any of the awfulness of what occurred in the physical. You're right. But just the bigger picture, showing it the bigger picture.
Yeah, I feel a ratcheting down of that real tenseness. They're starting to calm. Yeah, starting to be able to calm.
Okay, good news. Yes, please. Rest, letting it go, letting that return back, being a big part of it falling off and being welcomed by the ancestors, and they're showing it the bigger picture. And then that leaves you with a calm in your body. Yes, please. Just inviting that calm to stretch, root down, rise up. You are welcome here. There's room for you now. The nervous system can settle. And that, it's safe. Not the same time and place, not the same circumstances. It's okay to touch down here. And to enjoy the softer things in life instead of just the harsh survival. And now nuance can kind of show up.
Yeah, this is very, very helpful.
Yes, please.
Because I definitely feel that anxious tension is ratcheting down a lot.
Good. And what do you notice as that falls away? There's something underneath it. What's there? The calm and the very helpful. And this might be
the first thing, honestly, is relief.
Yay, good.
Like, oh my God, thank God.
Good.
That's the first, that is the overwhelming feeling, is of relief.
Yes, please.
Of like not to feel that constant tenseness. It's like, oh my God, I can breathe.
Yay. Yes to breathing and relief and calm. And the ability for the rib cage to expand. It's dead all tight. It's like getting a full breath in.
Yeah, and what comes to me is just that shifting to this lighter place is where I need to be my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be more, to come out, as opposed to feeling so stuck inside.
Okay, good. Yes, please, to purpose coming out. And just inviting that to reside, to take up space.
Yeah, I mean, the message I get, which I do get in meditation, is to follow kind of the spark, the energy that comes. But I will say that it's very unsatisfactory to my mind.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Yeah. So we'll just coo at the mind again. Yeah, we're right. You like practicalities, and you like your checklist and your clipboard. You're right. And it starts with a spark. Don't you worry. We'll get it down into nice doing steps and things for you. Just hang on. You need to rest a little bit because you've been so harsh, right? It's acclimatizing to a new way of being. Just see how it responds to that.
yeah, good. And really the image I get is, I mean, the ancestors had invited it to be around the campfire, just kind of laughing and communing, and to just be in that kind of energy, and to just see what joy and kind of laughing and how that feels to be in that energy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. And the mind will come to understand too, if it doesn't already, the power of vibration and frequency. And this is actually doing something. It's one of the most important things you can do.
Right.
Okay,
and so the ancestors are really just encouraging, sit in that energy, let that energy be, and feel that energy. Put down kind of your soul, it feels like there was like this stone arrow that the that mind had been like gripped tightly, and they're just like, I feel like it's been put down, and they're just urging this mind part to just enjoy the camaraderie, the joy, the laughter, and be in that, and that's okay.
Okay. Yes.
That's what you need to do now. Yeah. So that's wonderful.
Yes. Good. Seeing how mind is responding. Can mind track?
There's kind of relief there, and the mind seems willing, because it's very tired of the pushing.
Yeah.
And of the, so there's some relief there, and there's openness to trying this different way.
Excellent. That's good. That's all we can ask. That's wonderful that there's openness.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah. Good. A new contract, a new way of being, just seeing how this goes, tracking with this kind of energy for a change. Yeah. Right.
There. Yeah. So that feels wonderful, because there's definitely openness, not resistance.
Okay. Excellent. Now maybe ask the ancestors, what do they want this named? What's the title for your magnificent inquiry here? I think I might have lost her, or did I lose all of you? No, looks like I'm still here. I can see Andy. Yeah. Okay, I'll just do a quick save. There she is, coming back on. We'll see if she has a title.
Sorry about that. I got
the new you had to come back. So now I'll ask the new you. What's the title?
Really, what comes is allowing.
Excellent.
Which actually does make sense, because I've been for a good part of my life in that pushing mode, which is my mind. So the allowing, yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And thanks everyone for holding the container.
Bye, David. Yeah, he might have already left. Yeah. Okay, let's take a little stretch. We'll take, where are we at time-wise? Yeah, we got about 20 minutes or so. So we'll come back, and I'm certainly fine to go over into bonus time, but I know there's one or two at least more to go. So let's take a stretch, take a bio break, meet you back here in a couple minutes, and we'll continue. Okay, just let me know if you're back, and then I think we're going to do something that we can all do together. Great. Okay. Okay, a little bit of settling still happening. Maybe I'll just quickly go over and give you a heads up on what's happening here at Shifted School. Several of you did the Shifted Online retreat back at the beginning of this month. So wonderful to see you here in the Satsang. That was really beautiful couple of days, and continuing along in the platform a little bit too. Anybody who is a coach, a therapist, a counselor, once a year, I offer my visual coach certification. That cohort is coming together nicely. It's starting very soon. There are 2 prerequisites that you have gone through my fundamentals of working visually, or maybe you have visual skills elsewhere, some other way of doing that. So equivalency, and being through Shifted. And ideally, you're already working with individuals in some capacity. So check that out. There's still a couple of spaces left, so you're more than welcome. We start October 4th, and it's a big program. I won't go into all the details of it. You can read it on the very lengthy info page on it. And then this might be of interest to people, particularly in this container. There's a private visual satsang coming up. So right now you're participating in the public one. We should let Karina know, that Teresa will let her know, because I know she's a little reluctant, as are understandably some people, to do this publicly. So we have a private visual satsang. It's kept to a small group, so it's 12 people. And this one's, I haven't really advertised it yet, but it's halfway sold out. So they always sell out. It starts October 22nd and goes to February 18th. So it's Saturdays from noon to 2 Pacific time. And you're with the same cohort, and the recordings are only shared with the cohort. They're not shared publicly. Yeah. And they're really remarkable containers. In fact, everybody who's signed up has been to one previously. When they see them being announced, they're like, I want to get in on some more. So you can find that over on shiftedcoach.com under the courses. Yeah. And those are the only 3 I'm doing this season. I'm preparing 2 other courses for the new year. I'm revising my fundamentals of working visually, so I'll be offering that again live. I haven't since the early days of the pandemic, so it's been about 2 years. And then I'm also doing a collaboration with Annika Lucas. We haven't come up with the title yet, but it's all around power and privilege and projection, and really working with the intensity of the times and within ourself of our triggers, and particularly the power holders in our world and what they do at the various levels of things, and really having compassion and empathy, but good boundaries, and a spiritual aspect as well. Annika, with talking about trauma, as we have in this container, she's a survivor as a child from elite sex trafficking abuse. So really, really knows trauma, unfortunately, very intimately, and has a remarkable understanding. So deep bows to her inner kids and inner adolescents and inner adults who stuck with it and did all sorts of her processing so that she can guide the rest of us. So very timely content. Okay, so that's that for giving you a sales pitch in terms of what's coming with my stuff. And this continues every couple of weeks for free. I also have, by the way, under the free support, there's also individual sessions. It's a one-time thing. So if you haven't done it yet and you're interested, just a reminder that there are free individual sessions. They're recorded as well, and you'll see those showing up in my e-zine. But those are always fun to do. And a wealth of them are posted now on the YouTube channel. So you can kind of check through and find things that you resonate with. Okay, let's bring my tablet back up here. And I'm going to grab a polarity square. And this was a favorite at the recent retreat. And we've done quite a few of them too here in the Satsang over the time. So just going to go find it. There it is. Okay, and on that visual maps page that I put into the chat for you, this map, I believe, is on there. It's available, and this is a good one to like print out a stack of them. And once you start to become more conscious of polarities, they're everywhere in our life. And Andy, I know you in particular have really taken to this and have been doing a lot of them lately. So I'm riffing off of what you brought to the table here, thinking that might be a good one for all of us to build together. Something wrong with me. So that's one side of the stick, so to speak. And so I'm wrong. What would be the other side of the stick for you? And that's the, like you were getting to that, wow, I don't swim over there. What is that even called?
Yeah, I have been really thinking about that. And it's something like I'm okay. Because the opposite is technically there's nothing wrong with me.
Ah.
But how to, maybe positive that is. I think it's even further, like I'm okay just as I am.
Okay, good. So let's put I'm wrong as I am. I'm wrong as I am. I'm wrong. And then we're going to put on the other side of it, I'm right as I am. Or do you prefer okay?
Yeah, I think for me, but I'm open that this is about something bigger than me. So but for me, that there's power in there's something wrong with me, and the opposite being I'm okay just as I am.
Okay, that's going to take a little for me to read. So hold on, let me just get it. So the desire for there is something wrong with me.
Yeah. There's a particular energy to that over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I totally resonate with that. Like, I think that's just like the baked in chocolate chips. Like there's something wrong with me.
Yeah. Good. And then the flip is going to be the desire is there is
Actually, it's I'm okay just as I am. It's not a there is, it's just there's something wrong with me on one hand, and I'm okay. I'm totally okay just as I am on the other hand. Those feel like the polarity of it. Like
Okay.
there is no in between. There's no flawed human being in here. but in I'm okay just as I am, there isn't a perfection for me, at least. There's no
We're gonna
perfection.
play it out here in a sec.
Yeah. So
okay, got it. I think this will do very nicely for something that we can all ping pong off, and it's okay if the language doesn't necessarily completely connect, we can still play the game with it. So hello everybody, welcome to Polarity Square game. So you take a polarity, in this case we have, and we plunk it in here, and you'll notice there's a desire for the thing and a fear of it. And so since we got two things, we've got we've got the other side of it, the desire for and the fear of. We'll do some work here. This will be a big old mess and gaggle of stuff when we're done, especially because we'll be working with a group of people and we're going to get lots of points of view on this. And each of us, as we do this work together, it's going to stretch us. Some of these are probably more conscious. So for you, Andy, which ones are more conscious that you beat the drum of and you're quite familiar with?
Oh, there's something wrong with me. That is paramount.
That's
the square I live in.
The fear of it. Probably the desire for something being wrong with you is not very conscious, but the fear of it is. Yeah. And then how about the other one? Probably those, you might just have one that's pretty conscious, right? This right here, you're very conscious of this, but you're not of the other three.
Yeah. And it's really like if I'm conscious of any of the others, it's way far down the spectrum. Yeah.
So that'll sometimes happen where there's one or several that you're aware of already and others that you're not. And so this whole process is balancing. It's bringing things out from the subconscious, from the shadow, so we can start to see them and own them in our own sphere instead of projecting them out elsewhere. Once we do this work, we'll go into what are called those transcendent states. So in that big old list of words, some of them will actually apply to the work we're going to do together. And at the end of it, if you care to do it, there's basically a release statement at the end. By the way, all this work, just deep bow to Leslie Temple Thurston and her book, The Marriage of Spirit. Leslie is an enlightened person who's continued to go along her enlightenment track. So she's not really available to work with people anymore, but she's left a real legacy of her books and her processes and many of her teachers, and is okay with this work going out into the world. So I've done my take on it with the visual template in front of you. So with that, let's dive in. Why don't we start with the one that's already very conscious? Neil started Andy, and then we'll call on our friends here and build it all together. So there's a fear here that there's something wrong with me. So if a human being, in this case you, has that, what might that mean? What are you afraid of if there's something wrong with you?
I have to keep fixing myself.
Yeah, okay, good. Why?
Because I won't be successful otherwise.
Okay. Won't be successful. Anything else? What's the fear? Uh-oh, something wrong with me.
Well, I guess following that thread, it's, I won't be able to earn a living.
Mm-hmm.
And then my family will suffer.
Okay. Define suffer.
I'm going to go back to David's homelessness.
Yep.
Right? Like abject poverty.
Yep.
And there's also Leslie's, not living up to my potential.
Yeah.
Right? Failure.
And what happens if you're a failure?
I think it goes back to, homelessness, poverty, all that, that type of. spiral.
Just poking it to see if there's anything else. Let's open it up to the other people here too. So if, in your version of this, everybody, what is the fear? If there's something wrong with me, what might that mean? Or human beings at large, where do we go if we think that there's something wrong with us?
I think there is worthless. I'm worthless.
And what might happen if you're worthless? Why would that be fearful?
It's almost like I'm taking up space. I shouldn't even be here.
Great, thank you, good ones. Anybody else? Why might there be a fear of there being something wrong with you?
For me, what's coming up is it would affirm the disrespect I received in the past.
And what were some of those things or qualities that you would have been tagged with that it would be affirming? Your what?
Too sensitive, too needy, too smart, too good. Too much.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you, Joe. Anybody else? Your version? Fear that there's something wrong with me?
Mine is not being able to figure out my potential in life, period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, I want to live my potential to the fullest ability. So I have a fear of not becoming that person.
Yeah, not becoming who I am.
Yeah.
Good. And what might that mean if you just don't do that?
Then for me, it'd be boredom.
Yeah, good. Anything else?
Lost, I guess, would be a good word.
Good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it.
So nobody said it, but I'll go there. So if there's something wrong with me, I could be killed.
Oh.
I could be singled out.
Oh, that I can understand that one.
I could be, is there something wrong with me? I could be, edited.
How about not lovable?
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, alone.
Yeah,
Ostracized.
alone, good. Ostracized.
Alone in the dark.
Yes. And what happens if you're alone?
Depression.
Yeah, good. Oh, and then I guess other people would be selected, right? The ones that didn't have something. So I would be like left out. You might have that one already.
Yeah, alone, left out, yeah. And another fear is when you become your full potential, say are you going beyond and having too much
hold
ego?
on. So you're moving. Yeah, you're moving. So we might as well move. So let's go to the next one. So there's a fear of I'm totally okay just as I am. And the fear that came up for you was that would be ego.
Ego.
And what happens if you're ego?
Well, people will call you on it and they probably don't want to be around you, most likely.
Okay, so you'll be alone again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Anybody else, if we go into this one, why might you or a human being at large, why might there be a fear of being totally okay just as I am?
There is nothing more to discover.
Okay, good. And no more
Or we're
discovery.
never enough.
That would be another one. That would be another quadrant, not this quadrant.
Okay.
So if you're totally okay just as you are, I guess that would fit in that for you, Teresa. It's kind of the discovery thing, or continuing to unfold or something.
Yeah.
I have one.
Go for it.
I wouldn't need help or connection.
Okay.
I wouldn't need people.
Yeah, you're going to be some enlightened being.
Yeah, I'd be separate.
Separate. Good one.
I have one that's hard to articulate, but it's like, then why would I not, like, if there's nothing wrong with me, why do I not have the things that I want? Right? I don't quite know how to. So if I found out that there was nothing wrong with me, that I was okay just as I am, I would be terrified, because then how would I get what I want?
Yeah, I'm just okay.
So without something to achieve, without something to fix, you can't get what you want?
No, it's not that. It's that if I have everything right now, if I'm totally okay, then I feel like I should be able to get the things that I want. And I wouldn't know how to achieve them, because now the only way I'm achieving them, like in this non-conscious part, is that there's something wrong with me. So when I fix that, then I get what I want. Like, that's the pattern.
Okay. So the fear is I'm still not gonna have what I want,
and I won't know how to get it.
Okay.
I'll be totally lost in that. Like, I just won't even have a path to get it. That's the energy of that.
Yeah. What I want or how to get it. Okay.
I think people might want to just cut me down.
Mm-hmm.
That tall poppy syndrome.
Yep. Teresa, can you mute yourself? Yeah, we can hear your housework. What else? Fear of I'm totally okay just as I am. For me, what would come up is people would expect more, would expect even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so therefore I would be like overrun. I would be taxed, literally and figuratively. I would be tired. I would be depleted. Which is my consciousness. Uh-oh. I'm totally okay just as I am. Shit. What's in there?
It's what I've been putting in a little bit, it's coming through, is sort of like, if there's something wrong with me, then there's always something to fix. So I get to put a lot of time and energy into that. I don't have to really own my brilliance, right? That I actually am, and that is what I'm here for. And that is what my purpose or purposes are. So if I believe there's something wrong with me, then I just keep working on that. Then in a way, it's like I never really have to own that, but also I'll get to the end of my life and be, I never really owned it. I've failed in my purpose for being here. So it's what you were saying, damned if you do, damned if you don't, kind of a vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting, isn't it, as we poke around it? So, if I'm totally okay just as I am, shoot, I'm going to have to own my brilliance and my purpose. I don't want that.
It'd be expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
And I might have to do a lot of things that I don't really want to do, that are unfamiliar and uncomfortable. right?
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
familiar with fixing myself. Like that's the familiar, comfortable path. Like I know what to do there, but I might have to do really uncomfortable things.
You'd be stretched. Yeah.
There'd be results.
Sorry, Jill, I missed that. What was that?
There would be results.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, results. Yeah.
Look how good I am. I'm capable.
And maybe regret too that I didn't do it sooner.
Yeah, right. What do you know? Yeah, I was just holding myself back.
I'm also fear of when is the other shoe going to drop, kind of what David was getting to, that I can get that pattern when it's going well. You're like, okay, when is the other shoe going to drop?
Right, because there's the assumption that they have to come together. Yeah.
Right.
And life and its polarities. Better to not be okay. Okay, we could keep milking that, but let's go time-wise. We're going to go over into another one here. How about the desire for there is something wrong with me? Why might we actually want to have something wrong with us?
As an excuse is to not take the right action.
Excellent. Excuse to not take action.
And here at excuse, there's more like excuse to not trust ourselves truly.
Why else might we desire for there to be something wrong with us?
What I'll add is, because I've dealt with this too, if I feel fundamentally flawed, then it's not my fault.
Yeah, good one.
That I don't realize my potential, or I don't accomplish certain things. If it's not my fault, because I'm just that way.
Excellent. Can't really blame me.
Right.
And escaping responsibility.
Okay, good one.
Sometimes if there's something wrong, you get attention. Like if you're sick or something like that. It's not the right kind of attention necessarily.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, you get attention. And I would even build on that. You get help. Yeah, you get help. You get care. Somebody said TLC.
Comforted.
Yeah, nice.
Extra support.
Yep.
Attention.
Yep. Got that one. Yep.
And Christine, I think also the expectation part that you brought up, you won't have the expectations from others.
Yeah, less expectations.
Yeah.
Less strain.
Stay in a comfort zone too.
Yeah. You never really get to find out, right? You just like status quo sort of thing.
I don't have to become myself or be happy.
Ooh, good one. Why else might we want something is wrong with me? Or human beings at large? Why would we want that?
It's easier to believe.
Yeah.
The old distortion. Than have the courage to face the truth.
I'd be like everybody else. I wouldn't be different. So I'd be part of things. I wouldn't be weird. I'd be normal. And I wouldn't stand out, like the tall poppy thing again. I'd be accepted. I'd be liked, right? I wouldn't be disliked. I'd fit in.
To me, there's also a piece of, there's something about like accepting the religious point of view that we're flawed.
Yeah. Sin, flawed, yeah.
So I would not be, I can't think of the word for it. I would not be
sacrilegious.
Like that kind of a thing. Heretical.
Yeah, heretic.
Kind of like contradicting the whole church, etc., by believing that there's actually nothing wrong with me. I'm not flawed, sinner.
Yeah. Bad things happen to heretics.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe there's an element of that in our lineage too. Like maybe we're like we're stepping out of our family lineage.
Yes. Yep. Step out of family. Step out of lineage. Yeah.
And I guess I would say, if there's a desire for that, it would mean that I'm staying in my family lineage.
Exactly.
Yeah. Doing. So
The
desire for that would be to stay within my family lineage and to do as my ancestors have done, to belong in that way.
Yeah. Good. Belong and fit in, all these ones, liked, accepted.
Or on the contrary, it could be somehow the wicked desire to be the black sheep.
Yeah, exactly. Rebel. Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
I was going to say the scapegoat.
Yeah, okay, good. So, and their desire for it to be the rebel, there could be, I guess, a desire to be a scapegoat. Kind of fits in that same energy. Yeah.
And I'm
different,
also...
to be different.
There's like a validation in that too, of I know there's something different here about me, and it's not wrong necessarily, but it's just not in alignment with all of the other, I don't know, sheep or something, if we're saying
Yeah.
Right?
I'm different.
Yeah.
I'm different. I'm an original.
Yeah. I'm a disruptor. I'm a, like almost Einstein or something. Like there's something that's really different about me, but it's not bad necessarily.
Right. Back to the kind of in the ballpark of that rebellious scapegoat. Right. I like your disruptor. I'm different.
Devious or something.
Devious. Yeah. Good one. Yeah.
And genius too.
Devious or a genius. Yeah. Just really exceptional.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Might be more, but we'll just move to the fourth one and we'll see what we can discover here. So, desire for being, I'm totally okay just as I am.
I could stop fixing myself.
Yay.
Yeah. Just live my life.
Okay. Excellent. So I'll put that, live my life.
And I can fully express myself on that vibe. Like I can fully just let it rip.
Good. Live life.
Like if it's already known that there's something different or wrong, if people think it's wrong, then kind of like that's their choice of thinking of it. I know I'm just different, so I can just express myself and not have to tone it down.
Excellent. Yeah. So if you're not toning it down and you are fully expressing yourself, anything else, shining.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're really like stepping into I guess what I said earlier, my brilliance,
yes.
Wow, what is even possible there? I don't even know what might come through me if I really let it rip like that.
Yeah. Let me let it rip, because you said that a couple times. Let it rip. It's important. Yeah. Okay, good. What else? Desire for being totally okay just as I am. I would be like relief. Yes. Realization.
Yep.
Liberation.
Yep. Freedom. Yes.
Yeah.
Trust.
Beautiful.
I could release the projection of others.
Feels like flowing downstream rather than fighting the stream. Fighting
Yes,
upstream.
please. Yeah. Release projections. Flow downstream. So that ease.
Yeah. And I like, in alignment with that is like what somebody just said, trust too. It's like trusting the flow. Like I'm in the flow. I can trust it all to, you know, yeah, I might get wet on this ride, but I trust the flow.
Yeah.
I am the flow.
Yeah.
Even better. Yes. Yes.
I could be okay and get what I want. I could feel peaceful.
Yeah, let's really feel into that. What's nice about being totally okay just as I am?
I could feel good enough.
To know that all the answers and everything is inside already. We don't need something new, new information.
You're complete.
Yeah.
Inside, complete.
That feels like another level of trust too. That's coming. Like I can trust myself.
Yeah.
I could ask for help, make mistakes, admit my flaws without feeling terrified.
Yeah. Yeah, even that is okay. Everything's totally okay.
Yeah. I could feel safe.
I just feel this real sense of like reclaiming so much energy, right? Like now I'm like, whoa, I have all this energy to be with, right? Instead of it being dissipated with all this, oh, not okay, not okay. So there's so much energy.
Yeah, and power. There's some power.
Yay. Yeah, another good one. Yeah. Anything else? The desire for being totally okay, just as I am. Okay. Now we take a look at these. So I get my, hold on one sec. I want my black. I'm going to rattle these off and it goes quite quick. And you're just given this piece of work that we did. You're just kind of checking your energy to see which ones fit with the work we just did. So does this help you tap into acceptance? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about attunement? Yeah, please say it because I can't look up all the time. Yeah. Balance?
Yes.
Yes.
Bliss? Anybody
Yes.
get to bliss?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. This is probably the first time I've ever hit bliss on something, but that everything is like, ooh, we can definitely feel it. Clarity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compassion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Detachment.
Yeah.
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 Devotion.
Mm-hmm.
Little devotion there. Dharma.
Yes.
Dharma is like totally on your soul purpose sort of thing. Yeah. Discernment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Equality.
Yeah.
Equanimity. That would be yes for me. It's kind of a calmness. Eternality, tapping into the eternal of it all. Yeah.
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 This one accomplishes a lot. Faith.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forgiveness.
Yes.
Yes.
Generosity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grace.
Yes.
Yes.
Gratitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harmlessness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harmony.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Humility.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Impeccability.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think anytime we do a polarity square, it taps into impeccability. Joy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Loyalty. We found one, not so much.
Hmm.
Neutrality.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay. Patience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Purity. I can never remember what quiescence is. I have a block on that
Whatever
one.
it's whatever polarity square we did last time. Like we did a polarity square and it was actually the definition of quiescence.
Oh,
It's like the fifth
samadhi.
element.
I'm still waiting. I don't think anybody got to samadhi. We got to bliss. That was pretty good, but not samadhi. Selflessness. Surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Surrender.
Tolerance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trust. Yeah.
Yes.
Truth.
Yes.
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 Unconditional love.
Yes.
Yes.
Unity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wisdom.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see the release statement here. And I'll say it once, and then if you like it, you can say it with me, and we'll just get everybody unmuted and saying it. So just so you know what you're saying. O eternity, please take all these states of mind which are unbalanced in this pattern and balance and clear them. Do this so that I may see more clearly and find my way home more easily. I give thanks knowing it will be done. You can change anything too if it doesn't land with you. If you want to join me in saying it, please do. We'll all jump in and we'll have a cacophony. That's fine. O eternity.
Oh, eternity.
Oh, eternity.
Please take all these states of mind which are unbalanced in this pattern, balance and clear them. Do this so that I may see more clearly, find my way home more easily. I give thanks knowing it will be done.
We just let it go. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we'll just do a quick go around. Any closing comments? It's different every time. We never know what will happen. So this is what happened this time. Thank you for those of you who came, and those of you who will be watching the recording, parallel processing along. Thanks for your connection in with the energy as well. And just any closing comment we want to say. And then I'll remember to bring up the slide with the notes again for when the next one is. Whatever order you care to go in.
Honoring the group process.
I feel very grateful to process with all you guys. Really grateful.
Yeah, I feel very grateful also. And I had a lot of insight on the ancestral piece because I tend to push that aside, but it came front and center. And then in my processing was very much involved. So I'm very thankful.
Excellent. Thanks, Leslie. Powerful.
I have to say I got a lot out of it also. I'm glad I listened. And it's amazing how a lot of things were parallel with what's going on in my life too.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Teresa. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Did I get everybody?
And I want to thank you for the co-creation and for the smiles.
Nice. Same for yours. Now, what's our date? I know I don't have it on the full view here, but that's okay. We'll just do it this way. Next one is Thursday, October 20th, and it'll be 10 a.m. to noon Pacific. Convert to your zone, please. You're all on the list. It's a one-time sign up. Bianca, I think we're adding you to it if you're not already on it. So stay tuned. We'll follow up. You'll get the emails. Pat, my assistant, if you've individually worked with me today, she'll within a day send you the map. So you've got the map. It'll eventually cascade out to my full list and onto the YouTube, etc. So it'll eventually pop up probably in a couple of weeks' time. And just thanks everybody for coming. Always a delight.
Thanks, Christina. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a beautiful
you.
day.
Bye.
Thanks again, Christina.
Very welcome. Bye. Take
Bye.
good care.
Bye-bye.
Mhm.